name is Beikun. I'm in 11th grade. I go to North Grade High in Bothell. My topic for today is 100 Children Now. First of all, thank you to the forum for inviting me and giving me this opportunity to share. Can we go to the next slide, please? Thank you. All right, so these are a lot of pictures from my experience in community education. I started back in middle school, which was about 5 years ago. That was about the time when the pandemic started. So from 2019 to 2025, I had a history class. That's my YouTube, in which I post recordings of every class. We would go for an hour or so. We started teaching history and history talks, Greek, Roman history, etc. And then also in 2022, I also did Chinese storytime in local libraries, in which we go over to libraries and get Chinese storybooks and read them out to a bunch of kids. This was, I think, one of our biggest times when we had over like 100 kids in the same room. It was crazy. It went on for so long because we also do like extra activities at the end, right? To make sure they also have fun. We would do stuff like make them little candy drawings with a special pen. Every kid wanted one. We had to stay over until the library closed. This was last May, I think. We did AP World History Prep with another friend. We did it for like 3 days, an hour every day, just right before the AP exam. And we had about 40 kids in that Zoom. And we just went over the information. And lastly, one of my more recent stuff, we had a summer camp which ended just last month. We did one last year as well. That is a picture of our teachers and TAs for last year. So over those 5 years, we've taught over 100 kids, and well, that says way more. But this is a graph that illustrates our volunteers, our teachers, our TAs, and all of our collective effort throughout these years. And stay on this graph for a while while I keep talking. So the collective effort over 5 years of all of our friends, we work together and we dedicate our time to our community. Yeah. Okay. So this is our summer camp, right? So we finished just last month in late August. It went on for 3 weeks. This is my friend Oscar, who's also sitting in the crowd. He was with me through a tough time. Yeah. So we had a lot of kids, right? So we needed a lot of teachers. We also did one last year where it was only me and Oscar. That was a bit more tough. But this year we had a lot of teachers, a lot of kids. All of them were high school volunteers. So throughout my experience in community education, I kind of realized that teaching wasn't really the hardest part, right? I knew all the knowledge, and teaching wasn't that hard for me. But the thing is, we have 30 kids in the room. They all have their own computers, and you can probably guess what they would do with them. Right? They all have games like Roblox installed, right? So the hardest part was probably managing these kids because they lose control very easily. If they don't like a project, they would just run off. And if one kid runs off, the other kids will be like, oh wow, well, he gets to run off. I should go too, so I can play with him. So it took a lot of work to keep them in control. We had to get a lot of events. We had to do like games and music, of course, like educational games, music, art and stuff. Fun stuff to keep them in control because they're not going to sit there and listen to us lecture for an hour. It's very hard. But it worked out really well. We had a lot of fun teaching them, and I'm sure they also had a lot of fun because they did thank us a lot at the end. The parents and kids all wrote a lot of thank you messages, which I'm very appreciative. But I also thank them because throughout this experience, both me and my team, we have all grown thanks to my 100 kids. Now, moving on to AI, right? So something surprising was during the summer camp, of course, one kid who was in the programming class in the summer camp, we taught stuff like programming and C8 math, science, math, writing, and etc. So in the programming class, we caught one kid or maybe multiple that were using AI to write code, which of course we are responsible teachers and we gave them a fail for that assignment. But after some reviewing of the code, it wasn't that bad. It actually worked, right? So AI is capable of doing such stuff. But what surprised me was that these kids, they're 4th and 7th graders, and they were very young and they already started using AI. So that's very surprising, right? Times are changing. Kids this young are already getting onto ChatGPT and stuff. One kid blatantly asked me after I assigned the writing homework, can I use ChatGPT to write it? Like he just blatantly asked me, and I was like, no, of course not. But I do think that instead of kids just copy and pasting from AI results, we could teach them to learn how to write good prompts to help them, to instruct them, and to better learn the content. So of course, I also have experience using AI. Not that okay. First of all, I would never use AI to cheat because I'm a good person. I'm a good student, right? I hope you all trust me enough. But I have used AI. For example, this video I do as before we show the picture of history class. I've tried to use AI to generate images and videos to help enrich my content. Can you play this video real quick? It's 5 seconds. Just click on it. If it doesn't work, it's okay. It's only a 5-second video. It's also on my YouTube. A bit of advertisement, but you guys can check that out. Can you try clicking on it? If it doesn't work, it's okay. I don't think it's gonna work. But anyway, it's just a 5-second clip that we asked an AI to generate. I think it's of the Mayflower. I'm not too sure exactly, but yeah, it looked okay. It looked pretty real. It didn't look. Yeah, we're not quite there yet. I still have a bit to talk about. It looked quite real, right? It didn't look. I mean, before I remember seeing a lot of AI stuff on social media, right? Of AI generated videos and images. Before, it really didn't look real at all. You can see that they're trying to look real, but it wasn't. But this video, like really, the expressions, the characters, they all look. Even though it was only 5 seconds, it really looked genuine. Okay, yeah, that's my experience using AI, and so I'm still exploring and thinking how to use AI to help my content, to help teach my kids and stuff. And it would be great if anyone has any ideas to reach out to me and help me after and offline. Finally, thank you to CIE SEA for inviting me and giving me this opportunity to talk. Thank you very much.